Hello YouTube University students, and welcome back to Opa's Garage. And in the garage today we are going to try to diagnose and hopefully repair a 4R100 automatic transmission that I just installed in one of my Super Duty trucks. Let's take a look at what we're up against. So this is the truck that I put the transmission in, and let's fire it up real quick. Focused. Fired up. Sometimes it the overdrive light starts flashing right away. There we go. I haven't even put it in gear yet, and it's already flashing. But the interesting thing is, let's see if I can put it in gear, put it in reverse. I can back up. Well, a lot of times the light will go off. Oh, there we go. See, now the light goes off. A lot of times once I put it in reverse, put it in drive a couple times, the light will start flashing again, and if I'm driving down the road it'll start flashing, and then it'll stop flashing, but it never seems to affect the transmission at all. So I got my laptop out here in the truck, and I've got it all hooked up to the truck. With this truck I've scanned it before, so it recognized it. It pulled up everything, then it automatically goes into diagnostics mode. And so you come over here. Actually, I'll just reach over and press it. No, it's not. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then it tells you what your different codes are. And the nice thing about the 4Scan program is you can go down through there, like it's got the PCM code P0705. If you click on that, it gives you a brief description of what it is, and then it also gives you possible causes for why you're getting that code. The two codes that I'm interested are the PCM code P0705, which is a transmission range sensor circuit malfunction, and the PCM P0708, which is a transmission trouble code short circuit, open circuit. Possible causes are TR sensor, the wiring harness, the transmission control module, and then it says inspect connectors for signs of damage or improper connection. So I've got this monster in the shop and up on the lift. After doing a bunch of Google research and getting on the Facebooks and getting on the different 7.3 and the 4R100 Facebook pages and asking questions, and then getting on the YouTube and being a student of YouTube University and doing research on there. And then also one of the other things that I did was I went ahead and got one of these automatic transmission service group books for the 4R100, and I did some research in there. I believe that the problem with the truck is this right here, which is basically a really fancy neutral safety switch. Before I go just throwing parts at it, I'm going to go ahead and do my diagnostics like I'm supposed to. That's why I've got my multimeter out. I've got this paper right here, which is something that you can find in there as far as when you're testing this. When you're testing this, you use your multimeter, and there's a bunch of little pins inside there, and you're supposed to take, one lead and touch the number 1 pin, and then you touch number 3, and then number 4, number 5, number 6, and on down the line. That's what this little chart is right here. That's park, reverse, neutral, drive, 2, and 1, and then these are the circuits that you test, and you put it in park, and you should see a closed or an open or a value. One of the things that I've decided is, since I don't like trying to reach up in there with 2 probes, I went to one of my parts truck and I cut a wiring harness off that I can plug right in there, and then I've labeled all the even number pins 2, 4, 6, 10, and 12. I didn't label 8 because 8 is not one of the pins that I have to check anything with the multimeter. Now, before I get up underneath the truck, one of the things that I was hoping I was going to find, I've already checked this and this is not the problem, but on this there is a little mark right there, and then it's upside down, but the word neutral is right there, and there's another mark in black. And if you watch that Black Shepherd Garage, you'll see where he goes into detail, and he actually runs this test, and then he moves this white ring just off that neutral mark just a little bit, and he shows you by having that just barely off, it can cause problems. It can throw codes. That's what I was hoping was wrong with this one, and that is not the problem. But this is the neutral safety switch. It's mounted on the driver's side, right on the side of the transmission. It's really easy to get to. It's got two either 8mm or 5/16, either one works, bolts that hold it in place, and that's also how you make the adjustment to line your little marker up when you're installing everything. Now, I left the truck in neutral so that I can, actually I guess I didn't really have to, because I'm going to unhook the shifter linkage, and then I'm going to be able to move this back and forth, and I'll unplug the wiring harness, and I'll plug that other harness that I made into it, like so. And that way I can test all my pins without having to sit there and try to, get two probes in that little itty bitty spot. Okay, I've got the voltometer connected to pins 2 and 3, and I've got the transmission in park, and as you can see, I'm seeing 270 ohms. And if you look at the chart, between pins 2 and 3, when you're in the parked position, you should have a closed loop. You should not be seeing any numbers. So that right there lets me know that that is why I'm getting that flashing overdrive light when the truck is in park right after startup. Let's shift it into reverse. And we're still seeing 270, which we should see 270 in reverse between pins 2 and 3. Go back up here and go to neutral. Neutral, still seeing 270 like we should. Drive, still seeing 270 like we should. Second gear, this should be closed according to the chart, and we're still seeing 270. And then we go, and we're still seeing 270 in first, and that should also be closed. So that lets me know that my my fancy neutral safety switch is bad. Let's go ahead and get that thing changed out, and then we'll run the test again. I know that earlier in the video I called this a fancy neutral safety switch. I figured I'd get in the book and I would show you. It's actually called the Digital Transmission Range Sensor. And as you can see, there it is. And then this chart right here is the chart that I have, the piece of paper that I made, and the main reason that I did that was just because I don't want to have to try to hold that book up or find a place to put the book and get it all dirty and greasy, so I figured I'll just make a piece of paper, and that way I can just stick it up underneath there on one of the cross members. Now, with the new DTR in place, you want to shift the transmission into neutral, and you want to make sure that you have those two little neutral lines, the one on the white ring and the one on the black housing. Make sure that those are lined up so that everything will work properly. And now we got our multimeter hooked back up to pins 2 and 3. We are in park, and in park we should be showing a closed circuit, and we are showing a closed circuit. We're going to shift to reverse, and we should see 270, and in reverse we're seeing 267, so that's close enough. Neutral, we should see 270. And we are. Drive, we should see 270. And we are. Second gear, we should see closed. And we do. First gear, we should see closed. And we do. So I believe we've get that out of the way. I believe we've solved the problem. I'm going to go through and check everything else on this chart to make sure that I'm getting the readings that I should. But I do believe that we have fixed the problem. And the moment of truth is upon us. Shifted into reverse. She went into reverse. Neutral. Into drive. Neutral. Reverse. I guess it should go all the way down into, so we're in drive, second, first, second, drive, neutral, reverse, back into park, and no flashy of the overdrive light. I would say that was our problem. So that's going to conclude this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are getting anything out of these videos. And until next time, keep living your best life. Get on out in the garage and fix something. But make sure you do your diagnostics first. Don't just throw parts at it.